Adjusting the sensitivity settings of a leadless pacemaker like the Aveir VR is a highly specialized task that requires expertise and access to specific programming tools. Only trained healthcare professionals, typically cardiologists or electrophysiologists, can make these adjustments. Below is an overview of how sensitivity settings are adjusted in pacemakers and how they can be fine-tuned for better detection of weaker signals during sleep. #Understanding sensitivity settings. Sensitivity threshold. This refers to the level at which the pacemaker detects intrinsic electrical activity, e.g., R waves in the ventricle. A lower sensitivity threshold means the pacemaker is more sensitive and can detect weaker signals, while a higher threshold means it is less sensitive and may miss weaker signals. Goal during sleep. To fine-tune the sensitivity threshold for sleep, the pacemaker must be able to detect the weaker electrical signals that occur during slower heart rates and deeper breathing patterns. #Steps to adjust sensitivity settings in the Aveir VR ***. 1. Pacemaker interrogation. The first step is to interrogate the pacemaker using a programmer device provided by the manufacturer, Abbott in the case of the Aveir VR. The programmer retrieves data from the pacemaker, including episodes of undersensing or oversensing, heart rate trends during sleep and wakefulness, stored electrograms, EGMs, which show the electrical signals detected by the pacemaker. This data helps the clinician determine whether the current sensitivity settings are appropriate or need adjustment. 2. Fine-tuning the sensitivity threshold. The sensitivity threshold is adjusted in the pacemaker's programming software. Here's how it works. Lowering the sensitivity threshold ***. If the pacemaker is undersensing, missing intrinsic beats, the sensitivity threshold is lowered to make the device more responsive to weaker signals. Testing the adjustment ***. After changing the threshold, the clinician tests the pacemaker's response to ensure it detects intrinsic beats without overreacting to noise or non-cardiac signals. For example, if the current sensitivity is set to 3 mV but the intrinsic R wave amplitude during sleep is 2 mV, the threshold might be lowered to 1.5 to 2 mV to ensure consistent sensing. 3. Rate adaptive features. Many modern pacemakers, including the Aveir VR, have rate adaptive features that adjust pacing based on physiological demands. These features can also be fine-tuned to account for slower heart rates during sleep. Night mode. Some pacemakers allow for a night mode or sleep mode, where the sensitivity threshold is automatically lowered during periods of rest. Rate response settings. Adjusting the rate response curve ensures the pacemaker adapts appropriately to changes in heart rate during sleep. 4. Testing in different positions. Since positional factors can affect sensing, the clinician may test the pacemaker's performance in different body positions, e.g., lying on your back, side, or stomach, to ensure consistent sensing regardless of posture. 5. Programming tools. Abbott provides proprietary programming tools for the Aveir VR, such as the Merlin Programmer. These tools allow clinicians to visualize real-time EGMs, adjust parameters like sensitivity, refractory periods, and pacing thresholds, simulate scenarios to predict how the pacemaker will respond under various conditions. #How sensitivity can be fine-tuned for sleep. To optimize sensing during sleep, the following strategies may be employed. 1. Dynamic sensitivity adjustment. Some pacemakers automatically adjust sensitivity based on the amplitude of the intrinsic signals. For example, if the R wave amplitude decreases during sleep, the pacemaker can dynamically lower its sensitivity threshold to maintain consistent sensing. 2. Customizing sleep-specific settings. Night mode programming. Many pacemakers allow for time-based or activity-based programming. For instance, the pacemaker can switch to a night mode with a lower sensitivity threshold during typical sleep hours. Activity sensors. The pacemaker uses sensors, e.g., accelerometers, to detect when you're asleep and adjust settings accordingly. 3. Reducing refractory periods. The refractory period is the time after a sensed or paced event during which the pacemaker ignores signals. Shortening the refractory period can help the pacemaker detect weaker signals during sleep. 4. Addressing positional factors. If positional undersensing is suspected, the clinician may adjust the sensitivity threshold to account for potential shifts in pacemaker position during sleep. Hashtag challenges and considerations. Asterisk balancing sensitivity and noise. Lowering the sensitivity threshold too much can cause the pacemaker to respond to non-cardiac signals, e.g., muscle movement or electromagnetic interference, leading to oversensing. Asterisk individual variability. Each patient's heart rhythm and physiology are unique, so sensitivity settings must be tailored to their specific needs. Follow-up monitoring. After adjusting the sensitivity settings, regular follow-up is essential to ensure the changes are effective and not causing new issues. Hashtag what you should do as a patient. If you suspect undersensing during sleep, 1. Report symptoms. Inform your cardiologist about your symptoms, including when they occur and any patterns you've noticed. 2. Undergo pacemaker interrogation. Your doctor will use the programmer to analyze the pacemaker's performance and make necessary adjustments. 3. Consider sleep studies. If sleep apnea or other sleep-related issues are suspected, your doctor may recommend further evaluation. Hashtag conclusion. Fine-tuning the sensitivity threshold of the Aveir VR leadless pacemaker involves careful analysis of the device's performance and customization of its settings to match your specific physiological needs during sleep. This process should only be performed by a trained healthcare professional using the appropriate programming tools. By working closely with your cardiologist, you can ensure that your pacemaker functions optimally and provides reliable support for your heart rhythm.